So guys and girls, I'm in the process of fixing those oil leaks that this final drive had. I found that there was oil coming out around the bolt shanks, and I suspect it was from range damaged scarring. As you can see, there's scarring all over this. Some of that scarring caused oil to make its way around bolts and then out past the shanks. So every single bolt was removed, cleaned up on the bench wire brush grinder, thread sealed, shank sealed, and put back in again. So hopefully that's fixed that. I did feel myself taking this seal out, but had to delete it because there was too many expletives. It would not come out until it was totally destroyed. Thanks for that, Mr. Seal. I really appreciate it. Here's the nice new one. I had to remove the shifter mechanism to access it. It was a Grant one coming out to the right hand side. I've modified it to come out the left hand side for a Sherman. As is almost always typical with these sorts of things, the split pin would not come out. So I had to blow the ends off with the gas torch and rattle the nut off over the remains. Now I've got to try and drill it out so I can put a new split pin in. Woohoo! Now I can get a split pin all the way through. One new seal inserted. Feels nice. There's not going on now. There it is. There you go. One new seal and flange reinstalled. You know, I couldn't turn this over with a crowbar and 2 bolts through this flange here. It just spun the gearbox around on the floor. And after I've spun it around on that plate that I welded up a flange to out on the ground outside and got it all working, look at that. And there's no oil in it yet, so when there's oil in it and it gets a bit more use, it's going to be beautiful. So on to the next stage of this project. You got to think ahead, this sort of stuff. Obviously it needs a fuel tank because there's none in it. This is what I found in my spares. The left hand side, the Grant fuel tank. So this fuel tank I chose because it looked okay, and it's off a diesel powered Grant and it has a return line in there because diesels need to return to the tank. This is why it's important to check things even when they look good. That return line is absolutely blocked right to the end with wasps' nests, and then after sandblasting I found this. It's got some holes in it that need welding up. There you go. One sealed up fuel tank. Look, something's going on there. Looks like it's leaking from somewhere that I didn't see. I fixed there, so it might be coming out there. Stunamana funamana. So there you go, one non-leaking fuel tank installed. Nicely accessible fuel cap, shut-off valve. There's a drain point there, goes through the whole floor, sitting on blocks of wood so it doesn't vibrate. If anybody thinks seeing that done in a few seconds on video was easy, believe me, that was a hard, bloody hard job. Trying to jam that in there with no room. Had to cut a bracket off to get it in, so just don't tell the owner. It's in, nice and secure. Now the next step, trying to jam an engine in. Well, this is the engine I acquired for the museum's engineless M4 Sherman. It was necessary for it to be a diesel. It was one of their stipulations. So this is what I came up with. A air-cooled, twin-turbo, 400 horsepower V10 Deutz. Well, this came out of a Terex 4066B articulated dump truck. I'll vacuum out what I can first, and then pressure clean all this gunk. All over the camera, great. I've already started on the ducting system, as you can see on the top of the engine there. Once you lift the engine decks, you'll be able to access this plate, remove it, and then you can get to the injector pump. The air, it'll flow over the top of this, be drawn in through the fan there and encapsulated by that ducting setup. The hot air blows out through the fins, and then I'll have to design an exhaust to get the hot air out of the engine bay. I've made the engine mounts, sourced bell housing and flange drive to encapsulate the engineered flywheel for the twin plate clutch. Yeah, fitted a centre bearing. There it is, good power pack ready to go into a Sherman. Should be fun. Interfering by bloody 5mm. So this was a casualty of fitting the engine. The filter bumped the engine mount when it was going in and put a split in it. So guess I'll be changing that with a nice new one. Here I am at Owen Engineering to get some fuel lines made up. So this is Jason Owen's shop. He does a bit of everything, supplies oils and batteries. Basic engineering, or to him basic, to me high tech. And he's the hydraulic expert who supplies everything I need in that respect. Hey Jace, how you going?
Good, Ronnie, how are you?
Good mate. I've got some lines here to do for this Sherman tank. I'll have to go through it with you to design a fuel system. We'll see how we go.
It's meant to be 27.1. I think we can live with that, Ron.
No, you didn't vernier that one.
Don't need to.
So here we are at Midland Mufflers to get the exhaust system sorted for the Sherman. There's Kyron, the boss.
So basically they're a segment set there, all individual parts. And then that's what we call our arbor. So the segment set slides onto the arbor there, which goes in and out, hydraulic ram. So as it goes in, the arbor applies pressure and makes it go larger, and that's what swages the tube up. The technology's been the same for about 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
they haven't changed.
And you just do that by eye and it slips in perfect. How long have you been doing this for?
Bit over 25 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it first time,
Yeah.
sometimes you have 4 or 5 goes and you've got to get your eye in.
Yeah, perfect. Beautiful. So, currently at the truck wreckers, looking for an intake hose, and they sent me down the back, and they said, yeah, there's a pile of intakes down the back there might be something there. So this is what I've gathered together for my manifold, and shout out to Ray Grimer here for looking after me and the museum with all this, and I'll tell you now, he nearly got in trouble off his boss.
All good, mate.
The price he gave me for this, so thank you very much, Ray.
Easy peasy, mate.
So there you go, one V10 Deutz twin turbo, 400 horsepower, air-cooled diesel, fitted into a Sherman. Done the fuel already. Crossover pipe coming out the bottom there, I've fitted a ball valve onto it, and that goes down into a filter, runs to the front of the engine. It used to be the back, but now the engine's turned around, so it's the front. And to the fuel pump, out of the fuel pump, out the back of the engine here, down to 2 more filters, back up into the injector pump, and then out of the injector pump, back out the front of the engine, and then return to the tank. So as a normal diesel, it's got to have a circuitry system. So yeah, it should work okay. Pretty happy with it. And here's the front of the engine. Made access point for the sump to drain the oil for servicing in the future. I also fitted a floor hatch cover and a dash out of a modified Grant tank. The airbox has been fitted. So there you go, the engine I've fitted. A German manufactured Deutz V10 twin turbo 400 horsepower air-cooled diesel fitted into a Sherman. putting oil into the final drive and making a bit of a mess, but that's only because I'm talking to you blokes. So yeah, it's your fault. There you go, tank enthusiasts, one final drive assembly, full of oil, refitted. This does get quite overwhelming sometimes, and you know you want to just give up. But all those people that help with their positive and nice comments, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.